Welcome back to my podcast. All right, guys, seriously, welcome back to Review by Top Shelf Tammie, my podcast. All right, I'm so excited. Did you guys do the reading? Which book did you read? Oh my God. Alrighty, so this week we read The Billionaire's Wedding Guest by Black Lavish. We did Dark Hunger Vampire Romance by Melanie Lynch. And we did When It's Real by Nicole R. Jackson. So yes, we are going to jump right into our book club questions and discussion and knock these books out because I know y'all got some stuff to say because I got some stuff to say, right? All right, so we are going to start with The Billionaire's Wedding Guest. And that book was, again, by Black Lavish. Last week, we gave it 5 stars. So yes, The Billionaire's Wedding Guest by Black Lavish. I do recommend. The review recommends you. Alrighty. So starting this book, the first couple of questions that I had was, the age-old question is, why is the pretty girl so mean? The model chick, she was just like a super asshole. But I guess like we had to have a villain in a story. But we always got to be the pretty girl. You know, the one that got everything that's always mean, right? But whatever, because she got hers, right? Right. So again, we are not going to give too much of the book away or the books away in the questions and discussions because I don't want y'all to cheat. So y'all, you know, what my saying is, I'm going to bring you to the edge. But we're not jumping out together. Y'all got to jump off by yourself at home. You got to read the book. Right? So we're not going to get too much of it away. Another question that I had and we're going to discuss is, one of the characters literally said like $200,000 a year was not enough to live off. I think when I heard that part and I read that part in the book, wait a minute. You know, we in the middle of a recession right now, but not to get back into reality too much because you know how we do it here. We talk about books and we discuss books and this is the step away from reality. But I think the reality check for him was like, who can't live on $200K a year? I feel like anybody could survive on that, right? So that was just like one of those like, huh? To me in the book, okay? Stone, do you guys consider Stone like trigger happy? Or was he just like super prepared? Like when we started the book started the way that it started, right? And you just like, okay, he's just like prepared. And then we got to the stripper scene and he ready to shoot it up again. And then the book goes on, right? So I just feel like Stone was very trigger happy to me. And if he would have just like calmed down a little bit, like he wouldn't have had the issues that he had. Like just all of his issues was just brought on by himself. Like, my dude, calm down. Keep your hand off the gun. Leave the guns alone. Keep your hands to yourself. Stop being so hot-tempered, you know? So Stone was like super trigger happy to me. Then we kind of started to get into like the meat potatoes of the book with my questions that I had about the book and like discussion. Kelly going to the shower with Stone. Like, I was very shocked and a little taken back by that because it was like during the book and up until that point, we was looking at Kelly like the shy, innocent, you know, just the good girl, right? Oh no. But Kelly walked her ass and got in that shower with Stone, baby. I was like, get it, girl. Get it. So yeah, I think that was like a good part of the book where I was just like, toes was like twinkling, and I was like, okay, girly girl. Like, it got steamy on that part. And I was happy to see like that other side of Kelly just a little bit. Just a little bit, because if you read the book, then you know what happened. So we ain't gonna give it away. We ain't gonna say what happened at that part. But I think that was definitely a good part of the book. Just to see her in that light. Then after that, it's like the book heated up. We got into the sexy talk of the book. And then right after the Kelly situation, we had Stone turn right around and have sex with Rebecca. Like, I was really taken back on that part because, for one, the situation with Kelly just happened. Two, we can't fucking stand Rebecca bitch ass. And then three, my chakra was like, no condoms. It's always mind blowing to me when characters have sex in the books for the first time and they don't use protection. Like, I don't like that to a certain extent. Like, especially when it was like Rebecca and Stone, because you knew it was gonna be like a hit it and quit it. You knew he didn't have too much interest there. So for him to do that right when the situation with Kelly just happened, it was just like, that's how these men is, right? So yeah, I ain't like that. Okay. Juicy, right? Stone's like his sex. It was rough. It was really rough for a first time sex scene, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, it was, do we do rough sex on the first time you have sex with somebody? I always feel like that's something you have to kind of work your way up to. Like, you just jump off the deep end with somebody the first time around, and it's just like, choke me, spank me, bruise me. Really? Oh my goodness. So maybe I was a little prudish. Maybe I was a little prudish on that part, but the rough sex with Rebecca, like right off the rip, and then plus we don't got no condom. Oh my God. Stone, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But I digress, right? I digress. Do we think Stone was wrong for having sex with Rebecca? And then to top it off, he had sex in the room that he was sharing with Kelly. He was absolutely wrong to me. I do feel like he was wrong because at that point it was established that him and Kelly was feeling each other. So it kind of was almost, to me, it was like a betrayal, or like your boyfriend kind of cheating on you and then doing it in the room like that y'all sharing. I think that was like super disrespectful. The characters didn't really address it because, you know, Kelly was very like mal-mannered and everything like that. But I definitely feel like Stone was wrong for having sex in the room with Rebecca, that he was sharing with Kelly. Like, that was wild and crazy to me. Stone actually entertaining Rebecca. I thought he was gonna turn her down. Again, it was like at that point in the book, we kind of established like Stone and Kelly was feeling each other. Like, so for him to kind of double back or kind of step back and entertain Rebecca was so weak to me. But it was like typical nigga shit. Like, and then you know what? females, I feel like we look at it like that and we take it to heart, and then the whole time a man don't care. Like their feelings is not nowhere involved in this type of situation. Like he literally taking it for what it is, which is like sex. As a woman, y'all know we don't look at it like that, right? And I kind of feel like Rebecca wasn't going to take it like that either. I knew she was just going to cause trouble like down the line. So like that's the part that men don't get. Like they make those type of decisions, and then they surprised when they had the reactions and the outcome and the effect that they have. Like so stupid. So yeah, I thought that Stone was gonna turn Rebecca down. I didn't think that he was gonna entertain her. By him being such a like successful businessman to me, and the book made it seem like he was really smart. But I guess when it comes to men and they dicks, they don't think. Like they let the dicks do the thinking for them, and then they make those dumbass decisions. And that's what he did. So yeah, I thought that he would turn Rebecca down, but he did not. So Stone. Like, okay. Do we feel like Kelly was wrong for changing her mind about not having sex with Stone in the shower? I'm going to say no, because she was not wrong. Because anytime during sex or, those type of situations, you are allowed to change your mind. But I definitely feel like it was mixed signals, because you took your ass in the shower. Stone was being a gentleman, and you took your little hot ass in the shower and then decided to change your mind. So again, y'all know I be teetering the line. So yes, like to a certain extent, I do feel like Kelly was wrong for changing her mind, because it's like she initiated it. You went into the washroom looking for trouble. You went into that shower like looking for what you was trying to get, and then you changed your mind. So I'm teetering on that one, y'all. No means no. Don't go looking for trouble. Right? Okay. Back to the condom thing. Like that one, and that thing just kept popping in my mind throughout the book, because he had sex with both women in the same weekend without protection. So sometimes like details like that gets me hung up, because it's like in the real world, oh my God, shame. Like, come on now, like, let's be careful. Let's wrap it up here. Like, I do feel like the Arthur, she gave like a lot of examples of how Stone treated Kelly differently to set her apart, that he liked her. But I feel like that having sex with both women without a condom, like I kind of put y'all on the same playing level to a certain extent, right? Did you see Angel's secret coming? Did y'all guess her secret? Did y'all think that it was gonna be what it was? I did not. I truly thought that her secret was going to be that she slept with Stone. Like, I really felt that was what her secret was going to be. I didn't think her secret was going to be what it was, which was a weirdo, but at the same time, you can kind of see like her reasoning was like to help her friend a little bit. So you kind of sympathize with her just a little bit. And it kind of takes some of the weirdness out of it. But I did not think that was what her secret was going to be. Yeah, I didn't think that was what was her secret was going to be. Like I said, I thought her secret was going to be that she actually had sex with Stone. And then I was like, oh, why is she still getting married to this man? Okay. Did you see Brad's secrets coming? Brad had a lot of secrets. I didn't see his secrets coming. I think the author did a really good job of kind of bringing it about the way that she brought it about, but it was a short time frame in the book, so it wasn't like we were given months to kind of, move through the story along and kind of like guess his secrets. So I didn't see Brad's secrets coming, but with Brad being a professional athlete, his secrets are not that shocking, right? Okay. Um, is Stone a psychopath? I am teetering that one as well because uh, I think the when he fought her ex-boyfriend, and I don't want to give it all away, I think some of those details definitely had him walking the line of being like a psychopath. Um, I think it was some of the stuff that happened in the end in the way that it happened that kind of kept us from being like, okay, Stone is not a psychopath. It was a good way for the author to clean it up in the end for us to look at Stone with our rose-colored glasses. I'm going to say that because I think if the ending would have happened the way that it was going, what he was attempting to do, I definitely think at that point we would have considered Stone a psychopath, and we wouldn't have been happy for them, right? So I'm actually really happy that the ending happened the way that it was. Did you see the ending coming? No, because I really thought that Stone was going to commit that last murder. Like I just said, I don't want to give it all away, but I definitely thought that Stone was going to finish that last murder. And like I said, if he would have finished that last murder, I think we would have had to look at him as a psychopath. And I feel like that would have kind of changed the trajectory of what we thought about Kelly and Stone's relationship. Like we would have definitely had to consider some things with their relationship if Stone would have committed that last murder. Because we, like I said, we would have had to take our rose-colored glasses off and kind of looked at him for what it was. So I'm happy that the ending kind of changed that, and the author wrapped it up in a very good way. The Stone didn't have to commit that last murder. Did you guys see or guess at any time in the book, did you know that Stone was the one who purchased the magazine? I did. Soon as her boss called her, I was like, Stone bought that magazine. So I did see that one. I did see that detail. I love that for her, for them. I think that was what a billionaire was supposed to do for his woman. So I love that part. I do got one more note here, but I don't want to give it away. So we're not gonna give it away. I do want to keep some secrets, and like I said, I don't want you guys skipping ahead and watching the book club and discussion questions before you actually read the book. I want to keep some secrets a secret, so we are not going to say that last one. We are going to let you read the book and let you see what it was about. So again, The Billionaire's Wedding Guest by Black Lavish, the review. We give you 5 stars and we recommend you. Yes. So our second book this week was Dark Hunger, Vampire Romance by Melanie Lynch. All right, guys, we gave this book 2.5 stars. Now, my first episode, I was very torn about if we were going to do like not so well reviews. So I did get some clarity this week in this book. You know, last week we talked about giving it 2.5 stars, and we went through our book report and everything like that. And so we'll dive a little bit deeper today and discuss why I got those stars. And like I said, and kind of bring a little bit more clarity into, will I still review books that I don't get 5 stars? So if I could finish the book and I'm not able to give it 5 stars, I will review it. Because at the end of the day, your opinion or your feelings might not be the same as mine. And some of the things that I might tell you guys about the book, you might still find interesting enough to read. I do say that this book was interesting enough for me to finish it. So that's why I'm reviewing it. This week, well, not this week, last week, in order to get these 3 standalone books, I actually started 6 books. So it was actually 3 books that I just could not finish, and I could not get probably past the 2nd chapter. Books like that, then I won't review, because I'm not going to force myself to read something that is just like, I can't do it. This book, I do feel like it was entertaining enough for me to finish it, and that's why I will review it, right? Okay, so we are going to do our book club questions and discussion, just like we do all the books that I finished. Dark Hunger Vampire Romance by Melanie Lynch. The review gave you 2.5 stars. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, so I'm sorry to do it, but yeah, so my review of that one was 2.5 stars. We'll go through the questions and discussions in a minute, but I'll just break down a little bit. No, you know what? Let's do the questions first, the questions and discussions first, and then once we get to the end, I'll tell you kind of what was missing for me and why I didn't get the 5 stars. So the first question I had while reading this book, because it started out great. Why did Davina go to Shane's family house for Thanksgiving to begin with? Like, they was together for a really long time, and she kind of already said that they didn't treat her well, and she kind of knew that they didn't treat her well and they didn't mess with her. So I just couldn't understand why she even gave them a chance to kind of ruin her Thanksgiving. Like, why did she even go there to begin with? I don't know. She should have stayed home, right? But I guess for Shane, they was trying to put on like maybe a certain kind of facade, or say like we're a strong couple, like a united front or whatever like that. So I guess that's like why she went. At the Thanksgiving, we learned that Davina accepted an outside baby from Shane. Crazy. She accepted the outside baby. Crazy. Which was like my next question. Would you accept the outside baby? Me, I would not. I don't get those type of chances, right? So, but for the sake of the book, still, no. You have a baby in the outside relationship, the book is over because the relationship is over. Okay. Davina accepted the family treatment, and they treated her like shit. I do feel like she could have spoke up. I don't know. I do feel like, I guess it's like that awkwardness that you don't want to come in between. I think that's what she was saying too. Like, she didn't want to come in between the relationship and the family, and then he never stood up for her. So it was kind of like she was fighting that battle by herself. So it leads me again. So why did she come to Thanksgiving to begin with? Because you knew he wasn't gonna stand up for you. You knew you was kind of like out there on the edge alone. So, and you knew they was gonna do it, and so now you just gotta kind of take it a little bit, you know. So yeah. Why did she call her mama for support after that? And it was like her mama was not supportive. I don't know. I do think that we got these parts of the stories just so that the author could give us a little backstory to make us draw us into Davina. So I get that. That was like part of the plot. It was part of the build up. So yeah, I get that. But it just, like I said, it makes me ask questions like, would you guys deal? Would I deal? No, I won't. Shane was very jealous of Davina. Like, I think that's why his actions were the way they were, and his support of his family was the way that it was, because he was jealous and he needed the support of them putting her down to make himself feel better. So yeah, like, yeah. Shane was a walking red flag, Six Flags. Like, it was no other way to put it. He was toxic. He was a cheater. He was a gaslighter. He was jealous. He was broke. He wasn't supportive. I don't understand how Davina even ended up in this situation. I don't understand how we could be with a man that's just that many red flags. You got to give something. If you broke, you got to get support. If you're rich or you got money, you got to give what else? Hopefully not be a cheater, but them be the ones. The ones who got the money got to be cheaters. Or if you got the bag, don't be jealous of me. You know, be supportive. Give me a business. Or, you know, it's like he was just, you couldn't say nothing good about him. I think she said he was good looking, maybe. Child. It wasn't nothing good about Shane. Okay, moving on. Did you think Shane, with all his bad traits, would keep his word of paying her after the robbery? I definitely was skeptical about that. When he came up with the plan and he told me the plan, told us the plan, or told Davina the plan, I didn't trust him. She did. I didn't trust him. I thought that he would definitely backtrack on the plan. He just, with all of the other red flags, I think stingy was one that they didn't really mention, but is one I gave him in theory, because it was just nothing good about him, and I didn't trust him to follow through with giving her money after the robbery. So I think from the beginning I probably would have said no when he kind of brought that idea. I didn't trust him. Do we think Mark purposely not showed up? Did he just never intend to participate? I don't know. I'm teetering about that one, because I do feel like he did mention him and Mark did robberies. Well, Davina mentioned it. Davina mentioned that him and Mark did robberies before and got money with each other before. So in some aspect, I did expect Mark to go. But I guess on the other hand, I feel like maybe he was just telling her Mark was going to go so that she felt more comfortable about doing her role, which was just driving. So I don't know. But then the way that the book played out as well, maybe Mark knew more information than we knew and just decided to not go at that point. But you got to read the book to kind of understand what I'm saying, right? So with all that being said, I don't think Mark was going. I think Shane lied to her to get her just to go as the driver. Was it a sign to not bother Midnight's house when they pulled up and got to going in, and they figured he didn't have no security? I think that popped in my head. I was like, anybody that you say got money, live in a mansion, you was like, oh, this is a beautiful, nice house, and he ain't got no security, that's a bad mamma jamma, okay? Like, that's one of the people that you leave alone, because it's like, why you don't got no security? Oh, because people know not to play with you. So that's what I kept thinking. I'm just like, oh, it's a bad idea. Turn around, right? So yeah, it was definitely a red flag that neither one of them, it was a warning that neither one of them took heed to. Davina never questioned why Midnight seemed dead after the shooting, but he wasn't. Right, because I think it was made a big part of like kind of the production, like, oh, she checked his pulse, oh, he seemed cold, oh, this, oh, that, and then it was like, boom, he just popped up and living and well, and it didn't cross her mind. I don't know. Maybe I think that's probably why she was so accepting to the information later on in the book. I don't know. But yeah, that was just, yeah, not like a little incomplete to me. How did Shane find out about the amulet and its powers? How did he? I don't know. That was a question that kind of popped into my mind as reading the book, and that's kind of like how I do it when I'm reading. I'm like taking notes, and that was a question that made it to the pad, but it was a question that was not answered. So I don't know. Midnight. This one was funny. Midnight seemed like a weak vampire to me, right? It's like all of the times that we have heard about vampires, it's like they strong and just all these great physical traits of them just being strong. And it was, he had to fight with Shane, and it was kind of like a tap, right? And then he fought with them again in the end, and he's like barely escaped the fight. So I was like, what kind of vampire is he? I don't know. He was a weak vampire to me. All right, moving on. Were you surprised Shane still wanted Davita at the end? I was. I was. I honestly thought the way that it went when they made the call to exchange the goods for her, I just knew, and he kind of like left her hanging. I was just like, okay, he don't want her no more. But then at the end, he was like, you know, give me my girl back. I want to get her the world now. So yeah, I was a little still surprised that Shane wanted her back. But on the other hand, I always think like a man don't want to give up his dummy. And Davina was a dummy, right? Because we just said he had all these red flags. He really had nothing to offer her. So it was basically a disservice to him to let her go. So yeah, on one hand, I was surprised he still wanted her. And then on the other hand, I wasn't surprised. So yeah, we're going to take both of those into consideration. Did you see the ending coming? No. I didn't. So that was part of the reason why this book only has 2.5 stars. So I will explain a little bit more why I didn't see the ending coming, and then we're going to jump into why this book only had 2.5 stars. I did not see the ending coming because I feel like when the ending came, I didn't know I was at the end of the book. I kind of, when I'm reading the book, I do cheat a little bit. I'll press the page and kind of see like what page I'm on, so I can tell like how much of the story is left. And when I kind of did that, I would have only been reading for a little while, and I was like, okay, the story is going along good. How much of the story do I got left? And when I pressed it, I was on like 85%, and I'm like, what? So yeah, the ending took me by surprise because I just wasn't expecting the book to be that short and for that to be the ending. Right? Okay, so yeah, I didn't see the ending coming. So let's talk about why I gave this book 2.5 stars. I feel like it was a lot of missing information. The book did start out very intriguing to me. Like it started out, it did it for me. And that's why this was one of those books I was able to finish, because the bait that the author dangled out there for us, it was good. Like it started out with the Thanksgiving dinner. It got you invested in the characters. It set up this great plot for the robbery and the vampire and everything like that. And then I think the book fell short to me because we were left with a lot of unanswered questions, and that's why the rating is so low to me, because at the end of the day, I'm just still sitting with a lot of unanswered questions. I feel like all the author really had to do was put maybe one more chapter in, maybe towards the end of Shane's, and explain how did he know about the amulet, why he decided to keep Davina, just a little bit of his point of view, and I think this would have been a great book. Like, she was almost there, and I don't know. So that's what it was to me. It was just a lot of unanswered questions when we wrapped this book up. And as you guys remember from the beginning, I kind of told you that I'm a stickler about facts and information making sense and questions being answered. And a lot of this had holes in it. The plot had holes in it. How does Shane know about the amulet? He seemed like just a regular smuggler, everyday Joe, and then we get to this vampire world and this amulet. How did he know? How would they know? How would they know? Oh yeah, we don't know because Arthur didn't tell us, and I feel like that was just like a very big missing piece of the story to me. So again, that's the reason why I couldn't get this book 5 stars. This book, I would say, is entertaining enough if you are maybe like doing a short plane ride or maybe a train ride and you just got like a little bit of time to burn, because the book was really short. It maybe was like under an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm not mad at that. And like I said, it started out quite entertaining. So I'm not mad at that either. I wasn't mad at the ending, but like I say, I have so many unanswered questions. So that's the part where it's like, I can't give it 5 stars, but would I recommend it to my viewers or my readers? To a certain extent. Like I said, if you got a little time to burn and you want to read a short, fast, like entertaining stories, and you kind of don't mind some of the plot hole details, then yeah, go for it, right? So, The Dark Hunger Vampire Romance by Melanie Lynch. The review, we kind of recommend you. Sorry. All right. So yeah, that's what I thought about Dark Hunger. All right, moving on. Our last book of the week. This the one, y'all, right? This is the one. This was my favorite one because it was a little spicy. Okay, so this was the one. It's called When It's Real by Nicole R. Jackson, and we gave this book 5 stars. So we're going to jump right in so we can wrap it up. The first question when reading this book, though, because if y'all read the book, then y'all already know. Let's get to it, right? My first question was, did baby fold too quick for face? Right? I feel like, yes. Okay, so like I love a good romance, right? And I know where the book was heading in the end, but the author did this great build up about her character and what type of girlfriend she is and how loyal she is and why they love each other and blah, 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 blah. And then my girl folded like a lawn chair. Right? So yes, baby folded very quick for face to me. Alrighty. And then the next one, because she folded, we got to talk about it. So the alter ego during sex. Like, do you guys have an alter ego during sex? Like, do you turn into a different person? So that was cute. I definitely, can relate. So that part was definitely interesting and spicy because I think it gave us a look at her, like I said, her being a very loving girlfriend and being just a good person. And then, baby, when she got behind closed doors, baby girl was throwing it down 3 ways from Saturday. Okay? So, yeah, alter ego during sex. Okay, go ahead, baby girl. Do we consider what baby is doing to Tulo wrong? Or is it okay to get a little something while her partner is gone? Again, like I said, I feel like she folded really quick. So at that point in the story, which was really early when I was making my notes, I did feel like she was doing him wrong because everybody just kept on reiterating like he didn't cheat on her. So for her to fold with face on the first night, is love real? Is love real around this joint? Like, yes, she was wrong. She didn't need, I don't know. Okay, so is it okay for to get a little something on the side? I feel like if she would have really kept it to a little something on the side, then maybe not, because like he was in and out of jail. He was in jail for a minute. So it's just like, if you would have kept it to just a little something, then maybe that wasn't wrong. But what she and Face was doing, y'all was building a whole relationship, bonds and everything like that. So like I say, was the love real? Was it real to begin with? Oh baby, I was shocked. Baby answering Face phone while they was having sex. Like I said, this book was spicy. This was my favorite one. I love that. I love that for them. She really established, I guess she established her dominance and she established her role in his life. And it was cute, I guess. And you know what? And it showed how player she was. I like that part. It showed how player she was because she got right back to doing what she was doing, baby. Okay? Like, girl, who? Girl, bye. So I definitely like that. And it also showed like her confidence in herself because she wasn't rattled. She wasn't shook. She just like, if you are able to get up with him later, then do that. But I'm pretty sure you're not. So, bye-bye. So that was, yeah. Was Face dirty macking? Y'all know that's my favorite question. Whenever it's two guys, like, was he dirty macking? Face was absolutely dirty macking. Like, Tulo was in jail. He didn't have a chance to fight. He didn't have a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have a fighting chance. And it seemed like every time we turned around, Face was saying like some underhanded stuff to make Tulo look bad. He ain't do this for you. He ain't do that for you. He ain't upgrade you. He got you living like this and da 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 da. He was definitely dirty macking. But I feel like his dirty macking, was it okay? I do feel like to a certain extent because he stood on what he was saying. Like, he said, oh, he didn't do this for you and he did it for her. It wasn't like he was just trying to point out like her old man was coming up short and then he still came up short. So we excuse his dirty macking because he pointed out, hey, the other guy coming up short, but I ain't. So yeah, you dirty mac to a certain extent. And you did what you had to do to get your girl, and you came through applying pressure. So yeah, we're gonna excuse the dirty macking. We're gonna excuse the dirty macking. Why couldn't Baby and Tulo get pregnant? Well, in the book, that question was never answered, but I do feel like maybe it was because it wasn't meant to be. That's how I always look at it in books, right? When a couple was together for years and they're like, oh, nothing's wrong with him, nothing's wrong with her, but they just can't conceive, it just wasn't meant to be. Like, you have to believe in like God's divine timing. And I guess he was saying he didn't do it so that they didn't have those lifelong bonds and connections to each other, you know? So, interesting. Did Baby give up on Tulo too soon? He came home very early in her relationship with Face, and he changed his life. Yes, I do feel like she did. She gave up on Tulo too soon for me because, like I said, with the background and history that they had, I expected for her to be a little bit more stronger coming into contact and with Face. I just didn't think that she would fold so easy. And then Tulo literally came home within the first year of Baby and Face being together. So it's like, girl, you could have waited a couple more months. He came home, he got a job, he changed his life. She gave up too soon to me. She definitely gave up too soon to me. when we were introduced to Face baby mama, did you get the vibe that he wanted his old thing back? I think he did a good job of showing baby that she was number one in his life and just establishing her role in his life. So for him, I did not feel he wanted the old thing back. I think he fully grasped that they wasn't meant to be together, and that's why their relationship panned out the way that it was. And now that he was with baby and he was a different guy, he was with the person he was meant to be with in that time frame. So I think he was very mature about it. So no, I didn't think that Face wanted his old thing back when his baby mom came back around. Did Bambi want her old thing back when Tulo got out of jail? I think she did. She was a little... It was a little... I don't know. I want to say I felt like she did because she kept kind of almost comparing. And that's why I was like, did they get together too soon? She folded so quick. I think when you are in that type of relationship and you don't kind of give your old situation time to pan out, you end up in a predicament that she was in. I don't think she struggled emotionally too much with it, just a little bit. But I definitely feel like she struggled with it more than Face did with his baby mama. But I definitely feel like Bambi definitely struggled. I definitely feel like Baby struggled a little bit more than Face did with Tulo. Because they did have such history. She do feel like she did him wrong. At that point, I don't think she knew he had did anything wrong in their relationship. So it was kind of hard accepting her moving on for me at that point. So I know it was, if it was real, it was hard for her to move on, right? Did we really think the old things, Tara and Tulo, was just going to let them live happily ever after? No. For Tulo, I feel like they did him so wrong that he had to get some get back. If they expected him to move along, like Face went over there and did whatever he did, still don't want to give it too much away. That was naive thinking. For him to think that you was going to take this man girl while he was locked up and then he was going to get out, this girl that he been with for 13 plus years, and you thought, what was it, 15, 13, something like that. You thought that this man, his everything, his only thing, you thought that he was just going to like move along and not cause no peace in your relationship. Absolutely not. That was very naive thinking. So yeah, I wasn't surprised when he wanted his get back. Tara, I was surprised she wanted to get back because you, at the end of the day, you did still end a relationship. Like, I get that you felt like you was done wrong, but when you decide to cut communication, then you can't be mad with the things that follow. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I want to cut communication, but you should have tried harder and da-da-da-da-da. But you got to take a person for what they are in the moment that they are. So you knew who Face was in that moment when you cut communication with him. So you can't expect him now to be somebody he wasn't in that moment. Did you really think he was going to choose that moment to be the bigger person? No, you got to take him for what he was. So when you chose to cut communication, you should have knew like he wasn't going to come crying after you were kind of being a man at that moment that you needed him to be. So even though you went through, the situation that you went through, you kind of put yourself in that situation. So for you to pop back up now and then you see everything the way that it is and you acting a fool, kind of, it's hard to say, but you help make that bed. You help lay the foundation for who Face was, like he said. So you can't act a fool in his life right now. Like, I feel like you were done wrong, but for me, the proper thing for her to do was when she went through her what she went through, I feel like she should have reached out to Face and she should have brought him into that situation. And that was her time to cause hell and havoc. You let all these years go by and then only come around. Now he got this situation going on. Now you want to cause hell and havoc, which is crazy to me. So, I did expect for Tara to let Face move on. I did. I knew that Too Low was not gonna let Baby and Face move on. Like, I knew that. Y'all did that man dirty. I knew that wasn't gonna happen. Did you guess Too Low's secret lover? Let me see. I did kind of a little bit. So I thought it was gonna be Shell. I definitely, because just given her history and a whole book and everything, and her being around and living in the area, I thought it was gonna be Shell. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was gonna be Shell, but then I was getting vibes that it was the other person that it was, and I'm not gonna give it away. I was kind of getting those vibes. I didn't originally see it go that way, but I was picking up a little context clues along the way. So I wasn't totally surprised. I probably was like a good maybe 75% still surprised, but I did kind of pick up some of the clues that the author was laying down, so I wasn't totally surprised. But like I said, I kind of thought that it was going to be Shell or the other person. Like I said, I won't give it away. Tara definitely raised red flags when Faye showed up at her house and had no furniture. Like, he should have started his investigation as somebody who's in the streets. His antennas went all the way up because he did mention it, but I think it kind of fell by the wayside a little bit because your kids done went over there and she done been back around for a good minute now, and you done paid for her to get the house, and she just asked nothing about no furniture. So yeah, that definitely raised the red flag. Kind of raised the red flag to him, but he dropped the ball on like investigating it. Did you see the ending coming? No. I thought the ending would have been a little different. I definitely thought the ending was going to be a little different. I didn't see it wrapped in that way. It wrapped in a very convenient way to me. I feel like we could have probably got maybe 2 more chapters and maybe 3 at the most, but I feel like we could have got a couple more chapters and it ended wrapped in a different way. The way that it wrapped was very convenient. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it was just like, well, it's time to go. It's time to go. The ending was very like quick to me. So yeah, like I said, I didn't see the ending kind of going that way. Did you guys get a little teary-eyed for the very, very, very end? Or was it just me? I think I was a little hormonal during reading this book. So I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. Right? So wasn't me, do books be making y'all cry? Do it touch you that much? So like I said, this is the end of my book club questions and discussions. That's the end of it for me. Like I said, this was my favorite out the 3. It was had just enough like spiciness to it, hot sex scenes. So this was the one for me. So like I said, that was my favorite. Alrighty, so we are going to wrap. I would not hold you guys. I gave you guys a ton of information for all 3 of these books, so I definitely feel like whichever one you read, you kind of couldn't go wrong, even though Dark Hunger didn't get a lot of stars. I still kind of, support that one. So again, The Billionaire's Wedding Guest, 5 stars. Dark Hunger, Vampire Romance, 2.5. When It's Real, 5 stars. All right, time to bring the show to an end. So if you are a reader or a viewer and you would like to write in and tell me your opinion on any of the books that we have reviewed, please do so. You can do that at ts_TammiePod@yahoo.com. If you are an author who would like your book review or porn review, you can also use that same email. And if you are an author who would like your book maybe proofread, again, ts_TammiePod@yahoo.com. Please follow me at TopShelf_Tammie on IG, and my TikTok is TopShelfTammie. See you guys next